They always tell us that learning is all about memorizing lists. But our brains don't really work that way, do they? We think in stories. So what if we could learn new words not as items on a checklist, but as, well, as characters in a really compelling story?
And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're taking these 12 words and we are going to watch them come to life. Forget the flashcards. Instead, we're going to weave them all together into a single, memorable story.
So you might be thinking, how can one little story really make new words unforgettable? Well, you know what? The best way to answer that is just to show you. So let's dive right in.
All right, first up, let's meet our main character, Mark. And yeah, Mark's day is already a total disaster. He woke up late, and to make everything worse, he's on an extremely tight budget.
Now, a budget is just a plan for your money. But for Mark, it feels more like a cage. Being on such a tight budget means any unexpected cost, like, say, a parking ticket, isn't just an annoyance, it's a full-on crisis. This financial pressure is basically the spark that's about to light the fire of his terrible morning.
So, fueled by stress and that ticking clock, Mark rushes out to his car. He's not just driving fast, he's weaving through traffic, taking chances he absolutely knows he shouldn't be taking.
And there's a specific word for this kind of driving. It isn't just hurried, it's reckless. He is completely ignoring the potential consequences, not just for himself, but for every single person on the road with him.
So yeah, the key here is that reckless implies this really dangerous lack of thought, and it's this exact recklessness that leads directly to the climax of our story.
And here it is. In a split second, everything goes wrong. Mark blows right past a warning light just as a pedestrian steps out. He slams on the brakes, and he just catches a quick glance, a fleeting look at their terrified face. The feeling that washes over him in that moment is absolutely horrid.
Okay, let's just pause on that moment. The person he nearly hit, that was a pedestrian. That quick, fleeting look he saw, that was a glance. And that feeling of shock and terror, horrid. These words just perfectly capture the weight of that near disaster.
Completely shaken, Mark pulls over to the side of the road to try and collect himself. But of course, his bad day is far from over. His car sputters and then just dies. And that's when he suddenly remembers a crucial piece of maintenance he'd forgotten. He never bothered to lubricate the engine parts.
To lubricate something just means applying oil so the parts can all move smoothly together. It's a simple little task, but Mark's neglect has brought his whole reckless journey to a very literal grinding halt.
This right here is Mark's lowest point. That combination of the near accident and the broken down car leaves him feeling wretched, just completely miserable and unlucky. The shock of it all just makes him emotionally numb.
So we've got two really powerful words for his despair: wretched for his miserable situation, and numb for his inability to even process it. He's just in a state of total defeat. But just when things seem hopeless, help arrives.
Luckily for Mark, he has a friend, Lisa, who happens to be a mechanic. Now, we all know some mechanics might try to take advantage of a situation like this to manipulate a customer into paying for a bunch of unnecessary repairs. But Lisa, she's not like that at all.
To manipulate someone means to control them in a clever but totally unfair way. Lisa's character is the complete opposite of this. She's defined by her honesty.
Her process is really impressive. She diagnoses the problem super fast and just gets to work. Her hands are nimble, quick, and agile. And her solution isn't something out of a textbook. It's ingenious, incredibly clever, and inventive.
So these two words, nimble and ingenious, they just paint this perfect picture of true expertise. She's not just good at her job, she's quick, graceful, and a brilliant problem solver. She doesn't just fix the car, she does it with real skill and creativity.
So with the car fixed, Lisa's passion for her work really shines through. She doesn't just mention a new product she likes, she starts to rave about it, speaking with this incredible enthusiasm.
And that brings us to our final word, to rave. It's not just talking, it's talking with a fire and passion that's totally contagious. It's the perfect word to describe someone who truly, truly loves what they do.
With his car humming again, Mark is just overwhelmed with relief. The horrid events of the morning served as a massive wake-up call. He vows to himself that from now on, he's going to be much more responsible.
And here we can see his transformation laid out so clearly. He went from being reckless to responsible, from feeling wretched to relieved, and from being numb to feeling purposeful.
His story arc is complete.
So there they are, all 12 of them. From Mark's tight budget and his reckless driving, to the near miss with the pedestrian and that quick glance at their face. From that horrid, wretched, and numb feeling, to Lisa's nimble and ingenious solution where she didn't manipulate him and even had time to rave about her work. Each word is a piece of the story. Do they feel more connected now?
And really, this is why the story method works. When words are tied to characters and emotions, they gain real meaning. They become part of a landscape, not just items on a list. That's the power of learning in context.
So now it's your turn. You've seen how these 12 words can build a world and tell a whole story of crisis and resolution. The only question left is what story will you build with them?